Are you serious? I'm trying to drink my coffee. I'm trying to calm down. But Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General of the United States, finally is directing senior federal prosecutors to evaluate certain issues requested by congressional Republicans involving the sale of Uranium 1. It's about time. I mean, I can't believe when it was happening, why wasn't there reports? Why weren't reporters everywhere? Why wasn't there rumors flying everywhere that the United States is about ready to sell 20% of our total uranium to a company in Canada who then turns and sells it to the Russians, and then the Russians kick back $145 million to the Clinton Foundation. But Jeff Sessions has requested, he has directed senior federal prosecutors to evaluate certain issues requested by congressional Republicans involving the sale of Uranium 1 and its alleged unlawful dealings to the Clinton Foundation, leaving the door open for an appointment of another special counsel. And here's what's going to blow your mind. You know who was involved in this whole deal besides Hillary Rodham Clinton, the Secretary of State? Besides a lot of people. But the FBI director was Robert Mueller, who's now the special counsel to investigate Trump on a Russian collusion when the collusion was going on right here, it looks like. Well, we'll have to wait and see. In a letter first obtained by Fox News, the Justice Department has responded to a July 27th request and a September 26th request from the House Judicial Committee Chairman Bob Goodlatte. He's a Republican from Virginia, and other committee members who've called for the appointment of a special counsel to investigate the matters in question. Matter of fact, the letter comes on the eve of Attorney General Jeff Sessions' testimony before the same committee tomorrow in Washington. Matter of fact, the Attorney General has directed senior federal prosecutors to evaluate certain issues raised in your letters, Assistant Attorney General Stephen Boyd has said. Matter of fact, these senior prosecutors will report directly to Attorney General Jeff Sessions and the Deputy Attorney General Ron Rosenstein, and as appropriate, and will make recommendations as to whether any matters not currently under investigation should be opened, whether any matters currently under investigation require further resources, or whether any matters merit the appointment of a special counsel, according to Boyd. The Justice Department does not ordinarily confirm or deny investigations, Boyd wrote, and this letter should not be constructed to do so. The Justice Department's letter specifically said that some of the topics requested by Goodlatte and other committee members were already being investigated by the department's Inspector General's office. But the letter specifically mentions allegations related to the FBI's handling of the Clinton email probe, including allegations that the Department of Justice and the FBI policies or procedures were not followed in connection with or in actions leading up to or related to the then FBI Director James Comey and his public announcement to close the Clinton email matter. And he did that on July 5th, 2016. Or the letter he then sent to lawmakers on October 28th, 2016, about newly discovered Clinton emails, and that those investigative decisions were based on improper considerations. So the department has forwarded a copy of your letters to the IG so he can determine whether he should expand the scope of the investigation based on the information contained in those letters, Boyd wrote. And once the IG's review is complete, the department will assess what and if any additional steps are necessary to address any issues identified by the review. And while the Justice Department did not confirm or deny an ongoing investigation into the Clinton matters, administration officials pointed that Fox News to the Attorney General's testimony at his confirmation hearing before the Senate Judicial Committee in January. raising questions over whether he would recuse himself from this investigation. With regard to the Secretary General and some of the comments I made, I do believe that could place my objectivity in question, said Sessions in a response to the committee chairman Chuck Grassley. Asking whether he could approach a Clinton investigation impartially, Sessions added at the time, I believe the proper thing for me to do would be to recuse myself from any questions involving those kind of investigations that involve Secretary Clinton and that were raised during the campaign or be otherwise connected to it. So former FBI Director Robert Mueller, who's now the special counsel investigating the Trump campaign and potential collusion with Russia, which really is a waste of time, looks like. He was appointed in May as the special counsel. But remember, Robert Mueller was the FBI director when the Uranium 1 deal went down. And Eric Holder was the attorney general when it went down. And Barack Obama was the president when it went down. And Hillary Rodham Clinton was the secretary of state when it went down. And James Comey worked in the FBI when it went down. And Susan Rice was the national security advisor when it went down. And John Brenneman was the director of the CIA when it went down. And the national security advisor was James Clapper. He was involved. All of these people were involved and signed off on the Uranium 1 deal. So how in the world, or what in the world do we do? Our government is in trouble, folks. Our government is in trouble. The swamp is slippery, slimy, sleazy, slushy. It's incestuous. It's a cesspool of sin, really. Wow. So let's wait and see if Jeff Sessions, if the prosecutors that he's chosen, do they recommend an investigation into the Uranium 1 deal and the potential collusion with the Russians and the Clinton Foundation? I don't know. I'm just a simple country preacher in the cornfields of Indiana. Are you serious? Don't miss tonight's Prime Time Live. I'll be live at 10 p.m. Eastern. We'll cover this and an incredible report. Imminent apocalypse. 15,000 scientists have signed a letter of warning for the human race. Listen, this is not one or two rogue scientists running around loose cannons. 15,000 scientists have signed a letter of imminent warning, and I'll share with you what that is tonight. Imminent warning, imminent apocalypse. Jesus is coming.